everybody, welcome to Real Estate Raw and Uncut, episode 34. I'm Byron Lazine, joined as always by Tim Bray. This is the show if you're an agent, a lender, a buyer, a seller, somebody just interested in real estate. It's where you want to come check in every single Friday. And now, if you're a Meerkatter, we've got Meerkat streaming live. I just got on to the cat this week.
Fuzzy little animals jumping around.
And started checking it out a couple days ago, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to start streaming live some of the behind the scenes Real Estate Raw and Uncut. So right now it's just an Apple device. If you have, any iOS operating system, you can download Meerkat and start streaming yourself or watching others stream.
You're an innovator.
No, I'm just following the pact here. This is a new social media. I think for us, it could be cool. Open houses, stream them live. Maybe get $1 million listing, go through it, and kind of give a little behind the scenes. It's kind of why we started Real Estate Raw and Uncut. We wanted to take the fluff out of real estate and show people what it's really all about. I know the show's on TV, and I know a couple of the people on the $1 Million Listing, right? Everybody thinks that show is great because of the drama. But it's not a true behind-the-scenes look at the industry
as a whole.
Yeah. As a whole. So that's kind of why we started this show, and I think live streaming on the cat can really bring that to the next level. So I'm excited about that. It's Friday, so I'm excited anyways. We're done with the tax man, so we're past that. That's really exciting. I got a Starbucks again today. You know when I ordered my Starbucks, I said, I'll take, because I don't use the grande or the tall or any of that. I say medium, So I said a medium hot blonde.
They just looked at you like you're crazy.
Well, medium hot blonde. I'll take the medium hot blonde.
Every day.
I drink the blonde. I drink the blonde roast.
Absolutely.
But that came out a little wrong. She was like, "Huh? What are you?"
Was she blonde?
She was. I pulled up. She was blonde. So she wasn't my style though. And I'm married, so that
Good. Thank you for clarifying.
Sir, I'm buzzing already. Let's get into it. What are we talking about today? Last week we got into land assessment, how you can take a big chunk of land, put it into forestry, bring your taxes down, and we had some people asking us, well, that's good and dandy, but what's my land worth before I save on the taxes?
So let's do a real quick overview. Most people that approach us with large chunks of land, and we're going to assume in this situation that it's residential. So if somebody were to come to, or somebody comes to us and they say, look, we've got 100 acres of land and it's raw, hasn't been approved, no lots, no nothing. What's it worth? So the questions it's all about the questions.
Right.
So most of these landowners, if it's zoned R40, and 40 is 43,560, so it's an acre.
Right.
So they think, okay, I've got 100 acres, there's 100 lots there. They'd ask you, well, how much is a lot going for?
100 lots and 100 acres, you'd be driving through people's yards.
But think about it from the
mentality.
mentality.
Around the pools.
Yeah, you would. You'd be in the pool, but the mentality of the homeowner or the landowner is that, okay, they just do the division.
Yeah.
So if it's 1 acre lots and they've got 100 lots, and how much is a lot selling for? Let's say it's $75,000. So they're thinking they've got $7.5 million in land.
Be nice.
It would. So let's walk through.
They only make so much land,
That
well, unless you're in Dubai, but.
Oh, yeah, they're creating it, huh?
Yeah, they're creating it.
So what are the questions that we need to ask those people? And let's do a...
the first question, I think, well, I guess it doesn't matter what order, but one of the questions I'd ask is how much wetlands you have.
Okay.
So right, especially around here. This isn't, we're in Connecticut, we're not in the desert, so there's going to be wetlands.
So let's say 15%.
Okay, so 15% wetlands on the property. So what does that town require for open space?
Usually the towns around here are taking about 10%.
Yeah.
So let's put 10% in.
There could be a town that says, well, we're going to need 20
or 20,
right?
So you need to do your due diligence. Now, hold on, we're forgetting about roads. You need roads. Now, road frontage. Now, it may be on a highway or a state highway. And all these lots may be right along that road, and if that happens, you're blessed. But guess what? Nobody's going to buy it because nobody wants to be on a highly trafficked road.
Not too many people want the highway buzzing through their backyard.
So what do you think, percentage-wise, for a road?
For a road.
It all depends on the topography, the wetlands, engineered crossings.
Yeah. How much ledge?
Let's say minimum 15%.
Yeah, minimum.
Okay, so we're going to put that in there. So what we're left...
So what did we add up? 15, 10?
Yeah, we basically just... Our usable acres went from 100 to 60.
Wow.
So now we're in R40, so we're roughly 65 lots that we could get in there.
And to get that road, that it costs a little paper, right?
So to get the
There's an
road,
expense there.
the permitting per lot for engineering, attorneys, it's usually right around $5,000 per lot.
Okay.
So now we're talking for road costs, it's usually around $20,000, $20,000 to $30,000 per lot. So these numbers are starting to add up, but remember that
This is your typical subdivision.
typical subdivision. So let's use the town. Now we need to find, you can't just go out there and start building. Now you need to know what the sweet spot is.
Right.
Are you going to go out, you're going to build?
Well, you build it, they will come,
Yeah.
right?
It kills me.
Feel the dreams.
So
Feel the dreams.
Let's say it's a town like North Stonington, you start building $600,000 properties. Well, your supply and demand isn't there, and it's going to take you 20
Right.
years to sell it off.
That's right. Well, yeah.
I'm exaggerating.
It's going to take you a long time.
But your absorption isn't there.
Yeah.
Let's use Stonington. So
Right.
what's the sweet spot in Stonington that we've seen? So if you could build a $400,000 new construction,
You're going to be pretty good.
you'd sell it pretty good.
I mean, certainly if you've got a quality home, good inventory in the high 300s in Stonington, it's going to fly off the market. But 400 for new construction, I think you're safe for.
So what's your lot value?
Off of that?
75 is an
Right.
approved lot.
Yeah.
Guess what? You don't have an approved lot, so
Yeah.
it's half of that. So we're looking at it. You're 2.4.
Depending on where in Stonington it is, obviously. If you're closer to North Stonington, you're in the woods, you're probably right. It's probably 75 per.
If you're closer to Stonington Borough, you're in the 100.
Yeah, if you're going to get closer to the water, the price is going to go up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're anywhere from $2 million to $2.45 million with the scenario that we just had. But that's a long ways away from what the landowner.
Was
unimproved.
unimproved. So $2.5 million.
As opposed to 7.5 million though going in.
Right, 7.5. That's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
So then the landowner is going to say, let's meet in the middle. Let's list it at $5 million. Let's list it. At
Okay, Mr. Landowner. Now that sounds good. Now you're going to pay for all the permitting. Half of it. You're going to pay for half the permitting.
Because if this thing was permitted and ready to go, what would the value
Around
be?
4.8, 4.9 million.
But that's where he wants to list it unapproved.
Correct. So
there's a huge value in doing the work, like anything else. Put the work in. Now you have something to sell.
that's right.
And not that you can't sell that.
So very interesting stuff. But anyway, we just kind of want to shed some light on.
Yeah.
And it always we're talking residential, but highest
This is
and best use
residential.
of land.
Yep.
So you need to look at that as well. But I hope this helps people realize
Absolutely.
that land is.
Yeah, we're on the land kick. Last week land, this week land. We'll get into something different next week when we go to episode 35. But I think it's good timing because if you're considering building, right now is probably that time. We're in that spring market. They want to get started and build and move in the fall. So
Absolutely.
all right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us every single Friday. We'll hit you next week. And remember, we're now streaming live on Meerkat. My name on the cat is at Byron Lazine, just like everywhere else. Certainly check me out on Instagram. A lot of cool stuff there. Where do you want to be found?
Right here in the seat.
Right here. Find him right here. If you were on Meerkat, you'd actually see our actual location of where Mantown is located. See you guys next week.